So, and we got Trista Howard. Welcome, Trista. Nice to see you. Welcome back. Glad to have you, Trista. It's always nice seeing new people coming around and hanging out with us. So, yeah. So, how you doing, Kelly Jo?
I'm doing well. I thought I'd tell people sort of kind of how it works to do mediumshipping and what I see and feel and how it works and how I start out and the imagery and all that stuff. I thought that would be fun to talk about.
Yeah, welcome, Brian Barber. So, you know what's interesting? I always tell people, and I'm not going to mention any names, but, you know, when you deal with people with abilities, you have to be, number one, open-minded, right? And I say it all the time. And I also say, Kyle Smith, is that when you deal with people with abilities, you know, and Eric, welcome, is that sometimes things will not make sense. And what I mean by, just because you may not agree or understand what they're trying to tell you, Roger, and like I told somebody earlier today and last night, you know, it may come to pass. It may take time for it to manifest, but it usually comes in full circle. So just keep that in mind. But it's a good topic. It really is. I like it.
Who did I yell at? Eric Thompson says I yelled at him. What did I yell at him about?
I must have missed that when I'm clicking on everybody's comments.
I do not know what I don't remember. But he'll have to reiterate in the comments. But at first, when you start doing a mediumship reading, number one, people think that they need to be like right in front of you, you know, that they have to be in your presence. Well, you can read energy from anywhere across the world, you know, and people don't get that. How can you do a reading and not have me in your presence? Well, it's energy. It's like you can track the energy to the person. And it's like a hound dog tracks people. Well, we track the energy and we can see it, feel it, and read it, you know. And when you start out with doing a reading, you always say a prayer of protection. That's very, very important. And then you close your eyes and you pick up on the person, you know, and you'll see images. You'll like see and with a reading also. Like to me, putting on lipstick means romance and a relationship. Why lipstick? I don't know, but that's what I get. And then like if they're gonna have romance, I'll hear Scooby Dooby
Aha.
Doo, you know, or like if people have been married a long time, I'll hear Falling in Love Again by Marina Dietrich, and it means resurgence of love. Um, and then, it's like if you're picking up on an older person, sometimes I smell soft powder. That's my now. Every other reader is going to do different images. They do different things, but like I'll smell like soft powder and soft flowers. Um, for a gentleman, sometimes I'll see a fedora hat or a bowler hat or a cap or a fishing cap, and then um, they'll show me what era they're from, like by different dances and different dress, you know. Um, to me, when I see somebody in overalls, that means farmers. That's just me. And then people from like the Slavic countries, I'll see little babushkas ladies, and that's the ones with the little scarves on their head,
Right.
like
Right. Yeah.
I call them the babushka ladies, you know. And sometimes when you do mediumship, you're gonna get people way back because they're happy that they can talk to you, and the young people don't know they're dead people, and it don't do any good that these people are coming through because they don't know who the heck they are. Then you have to tell the dead people they got to go away because they don't know who anybody is.
Wow.
It's
Welcome, White. Nice to have you. So, Rebecca, while you was talking, that's interesting. My daughter rented a Tesla. There was a romance mode. The seats go back, and a fire came on the monitor, and it plays music.
There you go.
Golly, is that not? I wonder how much. It reminds me of that old bed at the hotel. You put a quarter in, the bed went,
and it jiggles. Yuppers.
Oh,
how funny.
anyway.
And then me, when I'm doing readings, and if people are going to have children, I see either a boy or a little girl, and if they're touching their thigh, that means one drop will do you. And you can use dynamite, and that baby's coming in.
Oh, Lord.
It's like, hello, we're here. People get so mad at me when I do that. And another thing is like, you'll get like scents. You can tell, you can smell what they baked, like if it's a grandmother that's passed on, you can smell bread or cinnamon rolls or cookies, or if it's an Italian mama, you can smell the gravy cooking. They call it gravy. It's really spaghetti sauce cooking on the stove, simmering. Takes all day to make it. And older houses, or a church, I'll smell like lemon oil and wood. That'll be the scent for a church. I don't know why, but that's what I get. Different colors, different seasons, like spring, summer, winter, or fall, like you'll see the leaves pop in thunderstorms for springtime. Then you'll see falling leaves for fall, the trees all bare and snow for winter. And then summertime, it's all vibrant flowers. That's how
Right.
you see the different time frames. And sometimes, like if I'm doing a reading for the future, I'll ask them to show me. When I first started, they would just say soon, and that could mean forever. I said, you guys, you need to give me a better time frame, because that can mean whenever. So what they do is they flip the calendar. I can see the month and dates, and they'll show me a red crayon pencil and they'll circle the week and the days of the week. And that's how I can get the dates and the year and the times.
Wow, that's interesting.
And that's real fun because I didn't used to do that. And it's like, you got to be able to do timing, and then sometimes you might see something. Some people it happens right away, right within the time frame, and then other people it might take a year or so for it to happen.
So, Eric Thompson, are the visions different for other people? Yes, Eric. This is how Kelly interprets her information that's given to her. How
Right.
she relates. Now, just because I see a babishka, I don't know what the hell that means to me. If that comes to me, mine's different. So,
Right.
yes.
Everybody does it different. Now, somebody on the comments said something happened. They were asking a question. I missed it.
Yeah. So, what can only be termed a demon attacked me when I was young? Meaning it tried to take control of me and do awful things. Only by running outside and supplicating to God, the horrible feeling abated. It's terrible.
Wow. Yeah, you definitely had an attachment there. I'm glad you negated it and got rid of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they like to hang out with you and wait and get you.
But why is it people like you don't tell people like us when something's about to happen? You sit there and just laugh.
What do you mean?
Like the time your girlfriend got smacked at the table.
Oh, I just thought it was funny. I should have said something, but I was just cracking up too bad.
Hey, Yolanda, welcome. Yeah, right.
I'm just like, whoa, I never saw that happen before.
Because I always tell people, I'm like, why can't you tell me instead of letting it happen? Then me, find myself dumbfounded. So,
But most time we try to warn you, and two, you're always praying and asking if you're supposed to tell, and if it's something you can't do anything about, you don't, you can't ever intervene in someone's karma,
that's true.
and your guides will say, no, you can't tell that person that. But most time in a tactful way, you can tell somebody, and it's like sometimes you get in real big predicaments where, well, if something isn't done or changed, it's not going to end well. If you keep going on this trajectory, that's how we handle that in a tactful manner.
Question was asked. I must have overlooked it. Does prayer protection include protection from other psychics? Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. A neat guy named Bob, when I was a young kid learning how to do this, I took a class from another reader, and she was very jealous, and she'd send things to bite me and everything. And he says, what you do is you go in a room and you put up your mirrors facing out. You don't ever face them in, you hurt yourself. And you have a two-way mirror, but you disappear off everybody's radar.
Interesting. I heard that before.
Yep.
I wondered about that.
It's a psychic shield. And then whatever goes, they send to you, bounces back sevenfold.
Yes. Yeah, it's very interesting. Now, Yolanda, you can stop train wrecks. You tell them once, they'll keep on. Well, you do it, sit back and watch.
Right. Absolutely. All you can do is, if you keep doing this, it's not going to be good. Got to do something about it. And then people will not want to change, and they'll get mad at you, and they keep doing the same action and having the same stuff happen. It's like, well, until you're good and tired of being good and tired, you're going to keep yelling and hollering about it till you're good and tired, and then you'll do something.
So here's a question. So, Brian, for example, last night, everybody that was coming on the show in the green room, I felt their emotions. I felt their anxiety. I felt their hypertension. So to Kelly, I know the answer to this. When doing medium work, do you experience the emotions from the deceased, or they just tell you how they feel?
Yep. Totally.
Kelly has been choked on the show,
Yep.
coughed, and something stuck in her throat.
Yep.
So yes,
You,
everybody's different how
you
they
can
get
feel
with it.
everything. And I sometimes spirits don't know to keep a good distance, and they don't have proper, boundaries, and they jump you, and it's like, they're like a puppy, and it's like, yo, back off.
Right? Yeah, it's very interesting. Like Brian, he was so excited last night. I was getting nauseated and sick picking up all of his energy. So it was terrible with everybody else.
You always have to white light bubble yourself.
That is correct. Hello, Nana Boss. Welcome.
But sometimes it's like doing investigations. Sometimes the energy is so strong, I'll go in a doorway and I have to back up and go outside and come back in because the energy is just like a wave. It's like, okay, let me regroup.
Right. Yes.
And then sometimes it gets so heavy, you got to go out and reground yourself because of the energies in a place.
I've seen that a lot. Yeah. It's interesting to see how people deal with different energies, right?
Right. And
Yeah.
when you're doing cleansing of negative entities and like excising a place or something, you always, it has to be two of you. You don't ever go by yourself.
Rebecca, she comes back and says, I have used the white light bubble for anxiety, stress around relatives. Yes.
Absolutely.
If not, I use makers and sweet and sour.
You use what?
Sweet and sour drink, make
Oh, okay.
mark and sweet and sour mix.
There you go. That works.
Sorry, I was overwhelmed with emotion, being awe and feelings of gratitude for the experience I was having last night. I couldn't stop trembling physically or emotionally. Brian comes back and says, yeah, Brian, I felt it all. You and everybody else. It was fun, but you know, go ahead.
And you have to be careful of, you know, absorbing things that isn't yours, because sometimes you can tote that away with you. You make sure that it stays where it is. Otherwise, it can manifest physically in your body and make you sick.
Yes, I've actually seen that and have people actually even told me about that. I actually see it unfold during certain shows that we do, crime shows. So that's a good
Because
question.
yeah, and you have to be careful not to let it harm you too, because it can, um, you know, I don't ever let it come through my body because it can burn you up. You know, I always have it outside of my body. I don't like when they jump me. It's like, ugh.
Brian says, I'm exhausted today from last night, even though I slept 9 hours. I'm emotionally drained.
Well, charge yourself.
Eric says, yes, I've got really angry because of another person's anger. So, Nana Boss, my anxiety has been through the roof lately. So much gone the last 2 weeks. Yeah, it will take a toll on people. Absolutely. Rebecca, I've heard this a lot. I can't wield jewelry with crystals around crowds. Is there one that protects from others' energy?
A black tourmaline, or if you can find a patchy tear and stick it in your purse and carry it with you, or put a black tourmaline tumble in your bra. But don't stick it in the washer. It'll hurt your washing machine.
Interesting. Yolanda states, I had that feeling before my husband was in the ICU. A priest came to visit him. It made me sick, scared me. Yes, I can understand that.
But everybody needs to know that they have a guardian angel that's with them since birth, and they can ask for help, through God from them. They can help guide and protect too. And remember, you can pray for any kind of angel that you need.
Yolanda says, Kelly, always carry black onyx or black tourmaline with me.
Good. Okay. That absorbs negative energies. And then once in a while, stick it either out in the sunlight or the full moonlight to help charge it and clean it. And you can always dip it in wash it underwater to cleanse it.
Interesting. I've heard a lot of people doing that with their crystals. I've seen it once, and I asked, what are you doing? And they're like, I'm cleansing. So it's interesting.
I have a crystal table, and once in a while, I'll take all the crystals up. I got to make sure I balance it on the table and not drop them on my tile floor. They'll crack. And I put them in water and set them out in the full moon, and then, dry them off and stick them back out.
Kyle Smith, my guardian angel, has a sick sense of humor. He must have been playing around with a lot.
They have They have humor.
Yolanda says, I use salt and the full moon to cleanse and charge mine.
Yep.
Is it true to recharge your crystals, put them in the light of a full
Yep.
moon?
Absolutely.
Yes. And my selenite is helpful, or selenite. Is that how you say it?
Selenite.
Selenite. Listen to me. He's trying to speak French and German at once.
That's okay.
Nanoballs. Kelly Joe, do you believe that salt baths to cleanse from the negative energy will help?
Yes, absolutely.
Vitamin D is great for fighting depression. Yes. So when I worked nights for years, I got vitamin D deficiency. Yes, I know, Yolanda. It's like REM balls, right? Trying to say REM pod. But and ever since working those nights for all those years, I still have to take extra vitamin D weekly.
So, yeah, no sunshine.
Yeah.
And it probably messed your Carillion clock up.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Wow, thanks on the salt, Kyle Smith says. A lot of people don't know the benefits of having salt baths.
No.
Now, I'll tell you what I like to do.
What?
I like getting those bath balls.
Oh, those are delicious. Yep, they are.
One of those big ones that just like buzzes and fuzzes in your bath.
Oh, they're wonderful. I'm a bath gal. I love the bath.
Vitamin D, D3 is important. Dosage, yes. Bath, I know, Gene. I haven't had one in probably over a year. So, bath REM ball. Oh my Lord.
But salt is good for everything.
I have to take 20,000, Brian. Is what I'm on. 20. I'm sorry, Kelly. Go ahead.
Oh, that's fine.
So,
but and two essential oils, they're helpful too, and like when you do this work, you gotta smudge your house every once in a while with sage, help clean out the ooga boogas.
Yes. Now I never forget. Yeah, there we go. Bath REM balls with light of cat balls, just what I need. So go ahead.
But if you have high blood pressure or heart disease, you're not supposed to take an Epsom salt bath. It'll make your blood pressure high.
Desire White. They don't make a bath big enough for my husband. His nickname is Too Tall. Wow.
He needs the old-fashioned 6-foot tub. The claw feet tub.
Yes. So the salt baths, you got to be careful what salt you use. I think somebody mentioned Epsom salt because it can dehydrate you if you take too many of them. So you got to be careful. But if you ever have a migraine, oregano oil If you buy that at the vitamin shop or whatnot, I had an old farmer when I was in my early 20s. I was at his house hunting, and he was like, "What's wrong with you, Grizzly?" And I'm like, "I just got a bad migraine." He was like, "Where's it at?" And I was like, "It's right here." He's like, "I'll be back." And he come back and he gave me this oil to put on. I put on the oil. And I was like, "It smells like oregano." He said, "It is. It's oil." And within 8 minutes, I looked at my watch. My migraine was gone. So interesting.
Very good for that. And then always make sure when you take a salt bath that you rinse your body off. You only soak for 20 minutes, no less, no more.
Yeah, that's why they have the showers at the beaches so you can get the salt off.
Yep.
So herbs are coming. Herbs are amazing, yes. So they used to have that book, 1001 Remedies. You remember that back in the day?
Yep.
Yeah, the oregano oil really works. Lavender works for my migraines if I catch them quick. There you go. Yes, Rita, we'll be keeping you in prayers for knee replacements. That's terrible. Hopefully everything goes well.
Don't
So
forget to do your physical therapy.
the only problem I've seen she's going to have with the surgery is her staying off of it.
Right. Well, they make you get right up after they do it.
So.
And you can't ever bend on your knee again.
Just realize oregano is hot oil and may irritate your skin if used neat, heat.
Yeah, without any buffer oil. You know, a base oil. Like grapeseed oil is a great base oil.
Yeah, I don't know what the contents were. I know it was mostly oregano oil. It probably did have something base in it.
He probably stuck it in olive oil or something just to steep the leaves.
You know one thing, Roger, I haven't seen in a long time, and that's ginseng hard candy and ginseng gum.
Yeah, I haven't
the
seen
price.
that. I haven't seen that in a bazillion years.
Yeah, is it because of the price of it? I remember, didn't they used to have a show on TV where people would go out and
go out and dig up ginseng? Yep.
Ginseng, yes.
Yep.
And they would dry it out and go get it sowed, and people fought over the prices and
yep.
crops. And
I used to go visit up in North Carolina all the time, and Cherokee, and I met an older lady, and she dug up a whole bunch of ginseng for me and gave it to me as a gift. I had it for a long time, made ginseng tea. And
yes, I love my turmeric too, Kat. I used to put that on all my food. Roger says I go out and dig my own. So yeah, ginseng hunters is what it's called. Somebody said.
Yeah.
Rebecca says oregano and olive oil sounds like Italian migraine special.
Yep.
So.
But it's fun to give closure to people, and it's and then you can when you're doing readings too, you can pick up on the personality of the person. That way that lets them know that it's them.
Yes, that does make sense.
And like you can pick up where they used to be with you. Like I did a reading for somebody the other day, and I said, well, your friend loved to hang out in the bathroom with you, and she'd sit on the edge of the tub while you're putting on your makeup. She goes, yeah, we used to do that all the time.
So turmeric you can consume on your food, or you can buy turmeric pills. It's very flavorful and it's very antioxidant. It's got a lot of things. Trista Howard, I'm sorry this is slightly off the topic, but when one is ready to pass, would it be a past loved one to come to get them, or the Grim Reaper or Dark Shadow figure? I'll let Kelly answer, then I will add to it. Welcome, Russell Easterbrooks.
Well, You can see the Grim Reaper before they pass. It usually shows up 3 or 4 days before they go, but they always have about 5 relatives come and get them, or friends, family, whatever.
Right.
Go ahead.
So when people go to pass, the veil for them gets very thin, and loved ones, friends, families, whatnot, will come back and prep them, and you will hear people say, I just saw my dad, or I saw mom and pa, or I saw blah blah blah.
Right.
That's when you know the veil is very thin. So,
And they always talk about a river. Well, there's a river that is between us and the passed on people, and they'll go back and forth.
so yes, it's so you'll know, because usually they'll make comments to your loved one or friend or family member if that's at around that time. If they start making comments like that. Kyle Smith, I've seen all that. Denise White. So that means reincarnation isn't real then. If someone sees their dad that passes away 30 years prior, for example. No, we're not saying that.
None of us are saying that.
So energy cannot be created or destroyed, right? So what we have when we pass is energy. So spirit can come back. Now, some people believe they're in the reincarnation theory, but that's before or later on down the road. It doesn't happen automatically. There can be a time lapse if people believe in that.
Right.
Trista Howard, my mother-in-law, has the Reaper come to her twice during serious health use and refused to go. Now, if you ask Kelly Joe will talk about hospitals. Now, that's freaky.
Yeah, when I go to a hospital, I see all the layers of the different passed on people. They don't ever clean them out. Like one time I was visiting a friend in another state, and this farmer had just passed away and come up to me. Am I dead? Am I dead? Yeah, you're dead. You're very dead. He goes, well, who's going to plant the field? I said, your son loves it as good as you do. He'll help. He'll plant the field. I said, you can go to the light and through the light. But I mean, there's hundreds of souls wandering around in a hospital. And, sometimes I get lost in them, and I gather them all up, and I all the way go in the basement, and I say, got to show me where out is. And we just cross them all over that.
Trista Howard comes back. She says she will take his hand next time. That means she's getting tired.
Yeah.
So Kelly and other people and people with abilities can see the actual person in the row, the Grim Reaper. It's strange what they see in certain places. So yeah.
And then I used to be when I was real young, I was a CNA for a nursing home, and I've also seen all the little monks and standing around the bed, and there's the white ones and then the black ones.
Wow.
Yep. All standing around the bed, and then sometimes people are afraid of passing on, so they sit in their wheelchairs, because they don't want to lay down, won't go to sleep.
So I've been seeing recently things in my peripheral vision, but when I look, there is nothing there. Kelly Joe, any idea what it could be?
You're seeing spirits. You just aren't seeing them full on. They always, when you start becoming aware at first, you see things out of your peripheral.
So yes, Brian, there is an actual true Grim Reaper. That is correct.
Absolutely. He's the angel of death.
My ex works in the nursing homes, sees spirit all the time. So sad. He sits with ones who have no one. So sad. Yes. My dad walks around at night and sleep in the day before he passed. That is correct. We see a lot of that. That's what I've been told.
Totally. Yeah.
So.
It's like 3 men were standing around before my mom passed. She goes, "There's 3 men here. It's not your dad."
Rebecca, I heard Grizzly was a monk in his past life. If I'm sick, Grizzly, don't come stand by my bed. I told people, when I die, I will come back and haunt every one of y'all in this comment section. I will jump on your bed. I will dance. I will rip the sheets off your bed. I will play with your dishes. So, yes, I would have a ball. Swing from your chandeliers.
There you
Nana
go.
Ball says, Kelly Joe, that's what I've been thinking it was. Thank you.
And sometimes the Grim Reaper isn't, a hooded cloaked figure. It can be a man all dressed in black in a suit and tie.
Eric says, yes, my dad started to sleep in the day and wake all night. Go to Becca first. Interesting. It's crazy, right, Gary? Never been able to see spirit before. It's interesting. I never asked about my past life. No one can bring it up to me. Have you ever asked Kelly? I don't think you have. Well, what about her past life?
Well, she definitely went across, Oklahoma in a wagon train. I see that. She was female.
Interesting. Yes, Brian, I would definitely play with your Hulk figures. I'll probably make them float in the air. Is there a Grim Reaper for a fallen angel?
I imagine,
Kelly Joe, I have been waking up at 3 a.m. or a little after. Is there something going on?
That's your guides trying to talk to you. Listen, get up, write it down. Because they always pick 2 or 3 in the morning because you're quiet, you're resting, and they can get through to you. Because when you're awake, you're static.
White. Can you ask Kelly if she was good friends with a lady named Diane Greco?
I don't know who they mean. Who is that?
I don't know. Rebecca, do I have any past lives, Kelly Joe?
She was a madam back in the 1800s.
Rebecca. Interesting.
And I feel like she was at Steamboat Springs, Colorado.
Is the Grim Reaper a fallen angel? No.
No, he's an angel. An angel is always an angel. It's never human.
Let's see. Yolanda throwing her in the bus again. Yes. Oh, Trista, I want to know if you can see any of my past lives. Please, Kelly Joe. Trista Howard.
I'm seeing that you reincarnated soon because I see you back in you were like a hippie and you OD'd. So you're back. I don't know how old she is.
Interesting. People are saying thank you and laughing.
And then another life that lady that OD'd had, she was a gentleman in New York in the 1900s, and she was a very short little guy, and she did bookwork, like an accountant. She was like 5'6". She bowler hat, a monocle, and a striped brown cuffed jacket, with the vest and the watch fob.
She says, wow, I'm only 39. Jean Hudson, Kelly, I was close to 2 mediums, my Aunt Lil and a Scottish woman named Marge. They never come to me. Is there a reason for that, Kelly?
They're busy doing stuff. They'll come to you in a dream sometime.
Liana King. Oh, last time, Kelly Joe, you tell me I was a sexy man in a past life. LOL. I wouldn't mind hearing about another one if you could.
I feel like it feels like the 1889's theater, and she was like one of the darlings of the theater. She had dark uh, hair, like the wavy hair all the way down, and she wore a bodice, and she sang. So she was like a singer in plays. So she was a theater, a mistress of the theater.
Interesting. Trista Howard comes back. Kelly, I always said I thought I would live in the 60s and 70s.
Well, there you go. You remember that.
And the next question for you, I knew this was going to be asked tonight. I just picked up on it like 5 minutes ago. Don't ask me why. Kelly Joe, do you know who's going to win the 2024 election?
It's going to be tight.
Thank you, Kelly Joe. Life was pretty different from that. Yes. Ryan Barber. Well, what if my very first memory of being in clouds and off a sailing ship honestly feels real before I was born? Like the boat was my vessel to this life. Well, to my mom's tummy, I guess.
Well, you were the man that was piloting that vessel.
Eric, I'm glad you're sexy. Thank you, Kelly Jean says.
Well, there's a song, I'm too sexy for my shirt.
Yes.
I'm too sexy.
Liana, oh, heck yeah. I'm sexing that life too. I'm blessed with amazing looks. LMAO. Thank you for definitely resonates. So, Gene Hudson, thank you, Kelly, for helping me tonight.
You're welcome.
Everybody's starting to laugh at Standing as he says he's sexy. So, that's funny. I love it. So, yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, I was a monk in my past life. Can you believe that? A monk.
I believe it.
Unbelievable. So, you know.
You also were like a way back when they start, men that did the mapping of the United States and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Doing spikes in the ground. You know how they put
Yes.
markers,
Yes.
and then the numbered. I see you doing that.
Kelly Joe. Oh, go ahead.
You and your daughter were together back then.
Interesting. Do you know the reason for all the earthquakes around the globe recently?
Yeah, our axis is tipped, and the ring of fire is heating up.
Roger Blair says, I can't remember if it was Kelly Joe or who told me I was a brawler and a bar owner.
It was me.
Eric says I look like a monk now.
Oh, they want to know about I got all kinds of past lives. I used to do past life regression with my friend Steve Molar. I remember my first one. It's like I was holding 2 steins of beer, and I had one of those, like, you know how the straps of lederhosen, and the white dress shirt, and I says, I have bosoms. And I was a beer girl. And then I remember another lifetime where it was Atlantis. And I was laying there, and I was seeing, I said, the Crystal City.
Unbelievable.
And it was very beautiful there. We had all kinds of holograms, and we had crystals, and we had a lot of developments with medicines, and it was when it was good before it sank. But it sank because they made a contraption that blew everything up. It blew it up.
I don't know why, but I got bluish color. I don't know if that's right or not.
Yeah, for Atlantis, yes, totally.
No, Nana Boss's question. She said she got a new hat today. What color is it? I don't know. Blue just came to me. I think I'm wrong, but it's a bluish tint or something. So now I got to know what kind of hat. So Standing says blue hat too. Yolanda, I was told I had 3 lives with my husband.
Yes, you have. You keep finding each other. You love each other across the eons. I see like a really lovely life way back in the 1900s. You lived in like Chicago, and you guys had money. You're part of a wealthy family.
I'm waiting for Nana Boss to come back, tell us what color her hat is. Kelly Joe, I always loved Gone with the Wind. Always felt I was in that era. Even got married in the style dress. That haven't watched the movie since I was reliving my past. Wow.
You were in the antebellum times.
Interesting. What color is your hat, Nana Boss? White. What do you see in my family's near future, Kelly Joe? Oh, shut the front door. What color is that? That's exactly the color I saw.
What?
Well, I got to ask, what color is it? I got
Yeah.
one her to type. She sent me a picture of her hat. Nana Boss did.
Oh, and it's blue.
It's. I don't know if I can show it. What color did I say? It was a bluish tint.
Yeah.
Some kind of bluish color,
Yeah.
didn't I?
Yeah.
That's the first thing I saw. Hi, Irene. Welcome to the show. Let me make sure I can show the hat. Is it all right, Nana Boss, if I can show it? She says, yep, she's laughing. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that.
There you go. And it's like a little
it's a bluish
fedora.
color. Yeah, I couldn't think of that color, but I know it had the bluish tint to it somewhat.
Yeah.
So Angela Ford, if you all didn't watch it, she tested me on her show, and she had pictures, and she didn't tell me what she was doing. She just did it, and I had to remember that show, ladies and gentlemen. Now I'm not like Kelly Joe or anybody else, but
you get stuff.
Yeah. So that's pretty wild. It's just weird because people ask something, they're just like, just like, pow. Right. Like, and I saw the color, but I didn't know what the name of it was. Yeah, and
I didn't see that question. It just, yay, Grizzly.
Yeah. So she says it's like a light blue color. Yeah, it's a bluish color.
Yep, like a tealy blue.
So, but that's interesting. I was trying to think who else was in that show. I forgot who else was doing it because she was testing us and people out in the audience, remote viewing. Yeah. Marty, you remember when Bigfoot do with blue things? They tend to disappear, so be careful when you wear it.
How funny.
So today, ladies and gentlemen, I went to the psychic panel and I sent them the questions to next Monday's show at 9:00. So you got to remember that next Monday at 9 p.m., we're having all the psychics come on that's volunteering to look at these questions, and they're going to try to answer them. So it's going to be interesting to see how everything goes. Yolanda, I'm trying to guessing on strangers when I can take my time at the store, just the way they act. So I've got that, I don't know what they call it, but like if something bad's getting ready to happen around me, I know it's going to happen.
Oh yeah.
And that's actually saved me a few times on the PD before. So
I know. I felt things gonna happen. I like when I was younger, we were out having like a nighttime dinner, and I said, "You guys got to get out on away from the table now." And two guys started fighting and ran right into our table.
Oh, wow.
It's like, how'd you know that? I said, I felt it.
Right. Isn't that the truth? And
And
there's a
then
nice looking hat.
yeah, it is. It's a gorgeous hat. All my friends are used to me. I'll start talking to myself. They'll say, Kelly's talking to herself. She's going to go tell us something.
What's bad is that I'll be having conversations, right, with people, and they'll just like space out on me. I'm like, what's getting ready to happen? Tell me. They're like, how do you know? And I was like, you just saw something. That's why. So, can you tell me anything about my husband's house? Will it improve or get worse? Miss White wants to know.
It's in a progressive state. So that's what I'm seeing. I'm not a doctor.
Me too. I don't go out because I see much, including spirits. Yeah, Irene. I couldn't deal with what you and Kelly has.
But love him and spend as much time as you can with him, hon.
Gene Hudson, I'm careful, Irene, not to touch anybody. Yeah, some people have those abilities where they touch something and no, I'm glad I don't have that.
Well, I can do psychometry, I can pick up off of things, but I guess I fine tuned it so much I don't have to.
Yeah, that's mind blowing.
And it's like the reason why when you're becoming aware, you pick up on all the negativity first, is it's more powerful. Does that make sense?
Yes, it
and
does.
Then you learn how to fine tune it.
Yes, absolutely. Rebecca, I get a feeling of dread before someone I'm close to is going to die. Why does that premonition come? I don't know who or when.
Well, you just know that something's going to happen. That's, like I said, it's negative. Death isn't really negative, but it's perceived as that, and that's why.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's see here. Gene Hudson, I see things but don't say very often. But if someone touches me, I know way too much about them. Right? Yeah, I couldn't deal with that. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, to reach out to Kelly Joe. Let me get her information back up here again. Where'd it go?
Yeah, and I'm available for readings. So
and tea parties, if you don't know what a tea party is. Well, where did your banner go? Any, mini, miny, there it is. Mo. Kelly Joe at 10009 at gmail.com. KellyJoePsychic.com. Make sure, ladies and gentlemen, and check her out. So she's very easy to get a hold of.
And thank you, everybody. You can call me too, 561-333-5367.
And from coast to coast, around the world, ladies and gentlemen, we'll catch you on the next show. Take care.
Thank you, you guys. Have a good night.